Welcome, friends, to episode 66 of Ride the Lightning, the Tesla Motors unofficial podcast for November 6th, 2016. My name is Ryan McCaffrey.
I am pleased to be joined this week by Roger Pressman. He is the author of Getting Ready for Model 3, as well as the founder of EVANNEX.com. Roger, I've always wondered if I'm pronouncing your website correctly.
You are. Original intent was to have it read EV as in electric vehicle annex.
Annex, yeah.
But everyone says EVANNEX, and so we've adopted that pronunciation as well.
Well, why not? It's words are added to the dictionary every year, so why not invent one yourself? So, you've written a book, which is certainly of interest to. I mean, that's actually kind of a lot of what I want to talk about. Is first of all, the book is Getting Ready for Model 3, and it is a what? Let's see, I've got it in front of me, 140-something page guide on, as the title suggests, getting ready for Model 3, of getting to know sort of what charging is all about, some things about what to expect about the car. First of all, I'm curious what the motivation was, what your goal was with the book, and then secondly, how'd you get this damn thing done so fast? The car was announced on March 31st, and you had this book out like 2 or 3 months later. I'm impressed.
Well, let me answer the questions in small pieces, and feel free, obviously, to ask questions anytime you'd like. I was one of the very fortunate people who actually got to go to the Model 3 launch.
Yeah, likewise.
And having been there and talking with media and talking with Tesla engineers, having a test drive in the car, seeing the car very up close and very personal, I got all excited about the potential. In addition, as we sat at the launch on March 31st, there was a ticker on the screen showing how many people were signing up. When that began to cross the 100,000 person boundary, It became very evident that people were very excited about it. At that point, on that night, I said to myself, you know what? There are a lot of people who are ordering this car who don't have a clue about what EVs are, electric vehicles are, don't have a clue about what needs to be done, and also, frankly, don't have a clue about the car itself.
Yeah.
So it might be worthwhile to put something together in a structured format. And the idea just kind of grew out of that. How did I do it so quickly? I've had a little bit of experience writing books. And when I set my mind to it, I can get things done fairly quickly. And that's what happened. So the book is out and it's doing very well, thanks.
Is it? I'm guessing this isn't so much more for the average Tesla Motors Club forum member, but it's more for probably their family, their mom, their dad, their family members, friends that, like you said, have ordered the car but just have no clue. Would that be fair to say?
I think you're right. If you follow Tesla daily, if you follow the genesis of the Model S and the Model X, and you're a fairly technical person, this book will have some useful information in it, but frankly, a lot of what's in it you already know. But the point is that hundreds of thousands of people have ordered this car, or at least on the reservation list. And as such, of those hundreds of thousands, a significant percentage have never owned a Model S or a Model X, have never really looked into electric vehicles in any depth. And those are the folks that I really wrote the book to reach. What is the Model 3? What do you need to do to get ready for it? I'm a fairly experienced Model S owner, having had the car longer than just about anybody. And we also own a Model X. So I'd like to think I know a little bit about EVs. And that's why we really put the book together, to help the people that you identified. It's useful for a Tesla Forum member or a Tesla Motors Club member, but that was not the demographic that I was shooting for.
Yeah, that was actually my next question. Is you are an S and an X owner. Were you a car guy before? Were you used to having sort of higher performance or luxury cars before? And how is going to become a Tesla owner changed your automotive life?
That's a good question. Was I a car guy? Yeah, ever since I've been a teenager. And I was, a person who always liked performance and always liked beautiful cars. That's not unusual in the United States of America. Owning a Tesla was absolutely transformative. I have to tell you that. The car is very attractive aesthetically, but far more important, it's a very impressive automobile. Today, people know that.
Yeah.
When I ordered the car in 2011, everybody thought that it was a pipe dream. It was, just vaporware was a term that was always used. And I was worried. I mean, I put a fair amount of money down and I wasn't really sure, but I said, what the heck, let's see what happens. The car has met virtually every expectation that I've had. It's high performance. It's a real automobile. And now that we see it, speaking in gearhead talk, smoking a Hellcat, or beating exotics on the drag strip, I think even real old time automotive people are turning around and taking a hard look.
So if you've got an early car, I presume either a signature or just a very early
I do have a signature, yes.
So was your X just did that feel like a huge step change? Because if you didn't have parking sensors, folding mirrors, dual motor, autopilot, any of that stuff. So are you even more blown away by your Model X?
I actually am. I was an early adopter, and of course, all early adopters, I have a signature. Early adopters suffer from early adopter syndrome. A lot of the tech that is currently in the car didn't exist when I bought it. Along came our X, and it has all of that tech. And the technology in the car currently is, I mean, obviously I knew all about it, but it's a little bit mind-blowing. Autopilot, Summon, all the rest of it was very impressive. And if some of that tech, or maybe all of that tech, translates to the Model 3, it's going to blow a lot of people who are on the reservation list away. I mean, it's really pretty remarkable.
I mean, that's my thoughts exactly, because my wife says even to me, are you sure you really want to get it that early? After what's gone on with the S and the X and how sort of quickly those early VIN cars have been not left behind, but but sort of built upon and moved forward past. And I told her, it's not the same situation as either of the other two Tesla cars, because of exactly what you're saying. Like, all that stuff rolls into Model 3, and yes, of course, the company will always continue to move forward. And you could make a case where if you waited for the latest and greatest Tesla feature to be added to the car, you'd be waiting forever, because there's always something around the corner. But yeah, I mean, I really feel like the 3 is going to, even right out of the gate, is going to be a really incredible piece of machinery, whether you've owned a Tesla before or not.
I completely agree. I think the Model 3 in the automotive world, given its base price point, given the technology it's going to deliver, given its aesthetics for an EV, is going to be a game changer. There's something that happens in technology. I've been around a while, and what I characterize it as the over-the-horizon syndrome.
Yeah.
If you're always looking over the horizons for the greatest and newest tech, you'll wait forever. You kind of do have to pull the trigger. I have absolutely no regrets that I pulled the trigger on the Model S at the beginning. Sure, I missed out on some subsequent technology, but at the end of the day, I had an opportunity to drive that car, to experience it, to effectively have access to a really cool automobile. So I have no regrets whatsoever. And I do think that a lot of the tech that was developed for both the S and the X will translate directly into the Model 3. And that's a benefit to everybody on the reservation list.
Now, I presume, since you attended the Model 3 event, do you have a deposit down for a Model 3?
I sure do.
So do you intend to become a 3 Tesla household, or are you going to replace either the S or X?
You know what? It's a question of garage space. Probably what I'm going to do. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah.
But one of the cars is going to have to go. But it probably won't go very far. My older son is lobbying me to sell the car to him. I may very well, the car being the Model S.
Yeah.
And I may very well do that. Our Model S is kind of special because, as you know, our company EVANNEX sells aftermarket accessories for the car. So my Model S is pretty heavily tricked out. And that's a very cool thing. And we really don't want to let it get outside the family. But I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I would love to drive the Model 3, for a while anyway. So for a while, I'm gonna drive the car. I think it's gonna be just so cool because having been in it and having ridden in it, I didn't drive it, but having ridden in it, it's an experience. It's unlike any car I've ever been in. It's more like being in an aircraft cockpit than in an automobile, and that's kind of a cool feeling.
Yeah, it was very. I was there as well, and it was shocking. I noticed you mentioned in the book you rode in the back seat, which so did I.
Yeah.
Which is kind of good. I kind of would have also rather been in the front, but yeah, it's sort of startling to be looking at from the back seat at the dashboard of that car because there isn't one. You've just got very, very small dashboard and then a giant screen of, looks giant, that 15-inch landscape. But what have you decided? Are you gonna check every box, get the performance ludicrous version, go all out with your Model 3, or what are you thinking?
I have to be honest, given who I am, and I'm not recommending this to other people. I may not check every box, but I will check a lot of boxes. There is no question about it. I'm in a fortunate position in my life where I'm not constrained to the base model, and it's highly unlikely that I'll go with a base model. What I'll do is I'll take a look at what options ultimately become available, and then make what I'd like to think are informed decisions based on what I want out of the car.
Right.
Do I need ludicrous? No, at my age, I can probably pass on that. But there are a lot of other features that, if they are available, I will probably opt to get.
Now, just reviewing, your publisher kindly sent me a copy of your book about a month or so back, and I was just reviewing it again last night to prepare for this interview, and a couple of the chapters jumped out at me as ones that I wanted to ask you about, because obviously we just had you've got a whole chapter on when can I expect my Model 3 to be delivered, and you've got line graphs, you've got S-curves, but this since the writing and publishing of your book, Elon Musk has come out and said we're doubling our production rate, and we're gonna get twice as many cars out as we thought we were going to originally. So, did that sort of make you go? Did that kind of make you put your head in your hands and sigh a little bit when Elon said that? Just in the context of your book.
Nope. I think first I have to say I have enormous respect for Elon. I think what he's trying to do is literally historic, and I'm not using that word as hyperbole. I think it's literally historic.
I agree with you.
I think he is the Henry Ford or Thomas Edison of our time. Having said that, Elon has on occasion been overly optimistic about some of the things that Tesla can achieve in the time frame that it specifies.
Yep.
He achieves everything he says he's going to do, just the time frame sometimes slips.
Right.
As much as I hope that he's right, and I hope that I'm wrong, I suspect that if we ground ourselves in reality, the number of cars that he is currently projecting will be produced, let's say, in 2017 into early 2018, may be, how can I put this delicately, overly optimistic. I hope I'm wrong.
I mean, I agree with you. Yeah, I'm very much, when he's talking about a six-figure number of cars by the end of next year, I've said this on the podcast, I'm expecting maybe half of that, and hoping basically the hoping for the best, expecting the worst scenario for the exact reasons you mentioned. And then the other chapter that's I wonder if it haunts your dreams a little bit is the autonomous driving chapter. We of course had the Hardware 2 event with the next generation of autopilot, and every Model 3 will have all of the self-driving cameras and sensors built into it.
Well, I don't think that there was any problem with that, because I sort of expected that.
Yeah.
What I think people have to realize, however, is given the price point of the base model, I have to believe that in order to opt for autonomous driving, it's very likely that will be an optional software upgrade.
Right.
The sensors will be there,
right,
but in order to tap into those sensors, you're going to need a fair amount of AI or autonomous driving software. That will be the upgrade that people will have to use. Having driven, autopilot, and having done it now for months, I can tell you it's well worth it. But I would be very surprised if the base model comes with full autopilot or autonomous driving capability at no additional cost. But that's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
No, I don't think. I think it's pretty safe to not call that opinion. I mean, it doesn't come standard in the S or X. It's $8,000, so I expect it's just a question of how much it's going to be on the 3. So, Roger, as you said, so the book is Getting Ready for Model 3, and you've got a site that sells a lot of little Tesla accessories, interesting things you might want to sort of appoint and improve your Model S or Model X in other ways at EVANNEX or EVANNEX.com, whichever tomato situation you prefer. And Roger, where is the book available? Where can we get the book?
It's available on pretty much all of the major book sites, Amazon, for example, or Kobo, or B&N, Barnes & Noble. That's in electronic form. It's available in hard copy form either from Amazon or from us at EVANNEX.com. You can order it from us directly. Fundamentally, it's selling, I think, pretty much equal numbers in hard copy versions and in electronic versions. There's a Kindle version available, of course, and others as well. A lot of interest. I mean, the car is a very exciting car, and so we're very pleased with the response.
Great. And yeah, like we kind of said at the beginning of the call, it might not necessarily be something that's super useful for my dedicated Tesla audience, but everybody in their lives, whether it's their parents, their siblings, their friends that are also on the Model 3 list that don't follow this stuff every day by listening to my podcast or reading forums, could be a great holiday gift. The holidays are like officially here now, so.
Well, it's difficult for me to be objective about it, but I heartily agree.
Roger, thank you so much. The book, Getting Ready for Model 3, available just about anywhere you would find a book these days. Thanks so much, Roger. Appreciate the time.
Also, Ryan, have a good one.